Welcome back. We are getting ready to go into DIMAGA versus Nerchio. As soon as Nerchio says he is ready.
Yeah, this is going to be really interesting. DIMAGA is not a player who I would have thought makes it over somebody like Mana, but this maybe map, as you said, is terrible for Protoss. We don't know. Taking on Nerchio is going to be a really tough task, though, no matter how good you are, because Nerchio is seriously one of the best right now.
Yeah, definitely have to give this to Nerchio. In a ZvZ especially mirror matchup. It's not that Nerchio is especially good at ZvZ, though he might be, I have no idea. I haven't checked his stats lately. But more just that in general, I think he would be the better player right now. But maybe DIMAGA's on the up and up.
It makes me sad, too, because, like, by the way, DIMAGA in his prime was, like, back in the days where, like, you saw Navi and Happy Zerg and a lot of the other players, but I'm glad he's still around. Always a nice guy. And he's in the channel from time to time, too, which is cool. But
yeah. That
being said, welcome back to Huangshan Mountain, guys. In the top right side of the map, he's going to be the ever-fearsome, the Red Zerg, Nerchio. And apparently I have my voice cracked there or something. I don't know what that was.
Is that a raptor? In the bottom left, as the blue Zerg, he is DIMAGA. Yeah, back in the day, DIMAGA was like, for a short period of time, my favorite European Zerg, I suppose, because back in the day, Ija was my favorite Zerg. And then I didn't have a Korean favorite Zerg, to be honest.
I didn't know that about you. You should have told me that before I invested 3 years into working with you.
You've known that from, like, the beginning.
Ugh. Ugh.
You definitely have known that. But anyway, yeah, I actually can't think of... Well, I guess DRG was probably my favorite Zerg for Korean back in the day. But anyway, I really liked DIMAGA. I did. And then, unfortunately, just... it's not that he stopped being good. Well, I guess first he probably stopped, getting... higher and higher placements. Koreans started flooding in. He's been around since Damer 1, so he went through that whole process. But eventually he just stopped participating in general. Or just, getting knocked out in, like, Group Stage 1, for instance, which is pretty not far into the tournament. But I'm glad to see that he's here in the semifinals. He participates in enough of our online tournaments still, which is nice to see. As you said, still on the channel every once in a while, but he just hasn't gone to the semis. And, wow, since the beginning of Legacy of the Void, I want to say, where it looked like he might have had a chance to be like the Semper of Zerg, shall we say, where he just looked like he might be really good at Legacy of the Void in particular, but didn't necessarily happen. Semper just, made tank drops look really cool, and it was like, yay, North Americans, and...
I really want to know what percentage of our audience, like, goes on tilt when we make references to foreigners instead of Koreans a lot of the time. Because, like, truth be told, like, foreigners, I think, have impressed us a lot more than some of the Koreans have this year.
Yeah. I mean, as, everyone knows that I am a Korean fangirl. This is not news, but maybe it is news to people who are only getting in for Legacy of the Void. But when it happened in Wings of Liberty, when it happened in Heart of the Swarm, foreigners were the ones that looked the coolest first. Maybe not the quote-unquote best, if you're, talking purely mechanical or whatever, but definitely the most interesting. They were the ones experimenting, and it was the Koreans that would mold and make it, mechanically perfect, or whatever you want to call it. Some Koreans, obviously, not blanketing the whole Korea continent, because, of course, Supernova was one of our favorites.
Yeah, well, you don't want to accidentally misrepresent those North Koreans either.
Yeah, that would be bad. Please don't kill me, North Korean spies that watch StarCraft 2.
God, you'd be like the best spy in the world. Like, that'd be the best job in the world if you were like a North Korean sent to America to infiltrate them. You're just like, you know what? Maybe I'll just relax and watch shit and take advantage of the real world.
Right? Like, I feel like they really... I don't know how they keep their spies if they're sent out into the real world.
Right?
They just feel like, oh, okay, bye. Well, anywho, we do have the ZvZ, I guess, getting a little bit interesting, as this was very standard openers. They could get the overlords to each other's bases, somewhat quickly. I can imagine there being some complicated issues with, again, the multiple avenues of attack, multiple paths that are on this map, but apparently they didn't worry about it for this first game.
Yeah, Bailey's aren't giving such hot hits either. A little bit scary running around like this.
Yeah. DIMAGA's not really investing a lot into it, and Nerchio will see that with his Overlord in the appropriate spots. This one's actually kind of odd, but still. Through the middle of the map, at the very least. And know that he's not going to have to be afraid of losing his third. Is this one good scout? Oh, yeah, yeah. So he knows they both gone for thirds. They both gone for roaches at this point, too, and it has just kind of accelerated past that Ling Baneling point. As much as DIMAGA is trying to make his Lings do something here. I don't know why Nerchio's Lings run away. There's actually nothing here. Oh, I realized it. He's going back in. Gonna try and get into the natural, I guess. Kill a drone? Nope, kill a roach. Roach turns into a Ravager to try and survive. Oh. Whoa, fancy.
That was clever. I like that. For those who don't know, if you're on auto attack mode, eggs like the immediate disengage. They have 0 threat, so unless you're still targeting them down, they'll go attack whatever else is nearby first. So that's pretty clever. That's pretty cool. And pretty cute.
Mm-hmm. Numbers looking a little bit favorable for Nerchio as he gets to faster drone count, bigger drone count. He's got a faster lair, and the only thing he's really missing is just the slightest bit in army supply, which might be what DIMAGA is looking to take advantage of here. He is not going for a lair, he's not going for an evolution chamber. He is still adding on drones, though. I thought maybe he's going to go for all in the middle of the map, but those drones made me think differently. So Nerchio actually being a little brave here. It's funny that they're both concentrating so much on the third base when there's really not a lot of droning to be done on these third bases.
Yeah. The evolution chamber is going to be interesting to see if this goes to committed to upgrades or not. His layer's going to finish up first, though, so we'll see what Nerchio actually throws down tech-wise. If he just goes into Roach speed, that's totally understandable. I mean, Roach Ravager are pretty standard, but maybe throws it up for a bit of a loop and goes for Aspire.
Oh, DIMAGA's
gases for it, after all.
He's not only losing supply, he's losing sight. He really wants to not be caught off guard if Nerchio, you know, for instance, wasn't going for a lair and doesn't even get Nerchio's Overlord. I don't think they've scouted each other's mains. They have not.
Well,
yeah,
going starts up for Nerchio, so he's going to be sticking to roaches.
Yeah, it looks like it. I do like your point. Like, if either one of them had tried to go for Aspire, they might have been able to get there, but it is, again, a smaller map, and even without scouting Aspire, eventually the Roach player is going to try and poke in a game like this. They both got into a decent drone count, they both have pretty big Roach armies, why not try and engage, and that's when they'd realize, like, hey, you don't have an army. Let me win the game. Which Nerchio might be just looking to do right here. He's just been getting slight leads in everything for some time. You can see the income advantage, and it has led to a little bit of an army supply lead here. Enough to push up a ramp? Probably not. But enough to make him feel confident. He's got Lings ready to dart in case DIMAGA leaves his post, too. And that supply lead is quite the difference now. +1 will... Okay, that's like 5 seconds. That probably won't play a part in the inevitable attack. Roach speed, probably not either. Nerchio can just choose to disengage a little bit easier for the next 20 seconds. But I can see actually pushing in on this map being quite a problem. It kind of has the Frozen Temple effect where you go through the middle of the map. Sure, it's kind of a fast, you know, point to point, but there is a concave and a ramp waiting for you, and Defender's Advantage will really work out for DIMAGA.
Yeah. I think, well, that's, again, I really want to measure the rush distances on this, because it does look really small, but maybe it's not as small as it seems.
There's a little bit of twisting. You have to go down first, I suppose, but... Yeah, I would actually imagine something close to Frozen Temple, because Frozen Temple, like, main to main's actually much longer, but ramp to ramp is pretty short.
Well, fight does go down here to the south. Of course, Nerchio's going to come in with those Cursive Biles. DIMAGA hitting a couple roaches on the backside, actually not fully engaged, as we see a lot of DIMAGA's roaches are just kind of scrambling behind those front lines. Nerchio fighting with the full force of his army, and DIMAGA wasn't giving Nerchio a huge start to this fight. He cleans up the roaches on the backside. DIMAGA's losing out on that supply, and so much of this has to do with that 5 seconds of roaches just running around, unable to get into the fights.
Yeah, it looks like Nerchio has just steamrolled. Pretty damn passive game, to be honest, and lead to a, I don't know, an easy win from Nerchio.
It really just highlight, like right there in that moment, that just highlighted just how important it is to make sure you're kind of move commanding your roaches and stuttering them forward. Because if you're not fighting with the full force of your army, you're going to have a bad time, just like DIMAGA. Even army supplies coming into this, even upgrades coming into this. This is not a fight that Nerchio should have, like, just snowballed off of, but he did, and he does. In good game, Nerchio will take game number 1.
I think that game as a whole shows why I believe we think Nerchio is going to take this 2-0. Because, yeah, there was an even army supply. I think Nerchio was up like 6 army supply. But, oh, damn it, I should have just play again. Damn it. But there was never a point where Nerchio was the one who was, like, severely under the supply. Really early on, he had, like, 6 less supply. But that was it. So I don't think he ever felt pressured. I think he was the one that was kind of with the steering wheel, and DIMAGA was more like the one that was catching up, even if he was really, really close behind. And, of course, that fight showcased their understanding of Roach Ravager battles, which Nerchio was really good with.
Nerchio's got plenty of practice with it, too. So, just tapping on the game real quick, go to my Twitter feed. There's a backpack, apparently, that turns into a foldable chair. And this actually sounds amazing, just thinking about the times we've been at events where we've had to stand there for hours because there's no chairs around.
When I go to the barbecues at my friend's house, there's this one guy that always brings the tiniest little seat. Like, it's seriously, like, it's like a foot wide, foot tall, foot, like, just 1 by 1 by 1. But you can sit on it.
I've seen those.
Yeah.
It's like the triangle shape too, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
And the point is you can sit on it. It's not the super most comfortable thing. Invest in one of those things.
Maybe. I don't know. Just having this built into a backpack is pretty useful.
It's not too, like, cluttered or clumsy?
No, I'll get a link after the stream's done to show you. It looks... Oh, it's like $75 though. I don't have that kind of money to spend right now.
Oof, yeah, I don't know about that.
That's always been more close to like 50 or something. Anyways, yeah, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Game number 2 in this best of 3 for the semifinals. Quick reminder that there is actually going to be a 3rd and 4th place match that will play out before the grand finals. So the winner of this will go on to fight the winner of Euthermal and Lilicanine, and the loser of this will fight the loser of Lilicanine and Euthermal next here on stream. We've still got the prize pool growing. We're already at $275 now. We're not even at the finals. That's awesome. And of course, just that reminder, we got that very rare, very exclusive portrait code available for whoever the highest donator is. That's not us and not Snoot. So that's currently Alaska Winter 923 with a $26 donation. Chance to win that portrait code.
Very nice. Let's do the intros, though. As we do have in the bottom left, he is early pooling. I believe it was like a 12-12. It is the blue Zerg DIMAGA.
A very interesting way to bring this back, because he is really good at defending against all kinds of cheese. Ladies and gentlemen, the red Zerg up 1-0, Nerchio.
He is going for an unideal build against this, getting that pool almost as late as possible. Could have like sent in like one more drone to be the latest, but we'll see what he can do. So often, you know, I know like there's pro gamers that would be like this like, very clearly has a problem against this, but really it just comes down to control and how good each player is with it. Someone who 14-14 and loses, you put Bly in the same position, Bly wins against the same exact builds, the same exact timings, but Bly will win somehow because he's just really good with it. We'll see, like, people have a counter build and then just stall for too long for whatever flippin' reason, and you know, not actually counter the other Zerg opponent. So, while Nerchio might not have the best build against it, the one that comes with the earliest attacking units, I still have faith he'll do fine enough against it. It is a real all-in, by the way, DIMAGA. Baneling Nest and Speed on the way.
Oh, God.
What's up?
While this goes on, I guess there's a community update thread, and they're talking about putting Dasan Station into the next season's ladder pool.
Gotta appeal to those Koreans, man.
Kill me. I will not play ladder.
I think it'd be fun to play on ladder the first 5 times, and then it'll be like, stop.
Yeah. We'll talk, I guess, on the community update thread later, guys, but for now, Nerchio's doing a pretty good job deflecting this. One of the big aspects for DIMAGA, though, is that speed upgrade. Here comes a couple Banelings, though, going to really make this nice. Those go probably straight for the mineral line. Surprised if it hits the Lings, that's the best-case scenario. If it goes for drones, that's sweet, too, but not wasting any just yet. That Queen block's really nice.
With the cocoons, that was really clever. One still hits the drones, though, and that's going to mean a lot of them will go down.
I'm surprised he's not trying to hold position on this, but I think he's worried about the Banelings popping, so he does decide to walk away from this, go towards that main.
Oh,
not really a lot to be dealt with as he makes his own cocoons. Drives off some of the drones mining in the main. Worker kill count racking up to 1. Whoa! Slow down there, DIMAGA. But seriously control the game being taken back here by Nerchio.
I don't know how only one drone had gone down up to that point. Now 3, but
He
still,
didn't
like
position. They were stacking really nicely. That was a mistake.
so
That's
many
the
are
stack.
so
Here comes
low.
the phalanx.
Oh Jesus, yeah, okay, that was good. That was good.
Yeah,
4
the
more.
splash was off on the hatchery too. It's really, really low. That Baneling gonna get a sweet hit on DIMAGA if he's not careful, but control out of DIMAGA has been exemplary so far. Now, unfortunately, the hatchery does go down for Nerchio. He's left with 11 drones, and DIMAGA's not in too bad of a spot.
That was so close to being a really good hold. Very unfortunate that the hatchery was already so low to dies to splash damage, and that probably put Nerchio a little too far behind, because of course he doesn't have speed to counterattack. He is now down a single drone, but still a drone. And
spine crawlers because he needs to.
Oh, those are so close to
have to
dying.
He does deal with the Banelings pretty nicely. Goes off on the main, gets a couple more kills, but still, nonetheless, DIMAGA's got follow through. More lings on the way, and it's not much, but it's more than enough, as Nerchio just really has nothing left.
Yeah, now down by 3 drones. He would have to catch up on so many things. I think DIMAGA's attack has done it, but it's not like 4 drones yet.
Well, it's more than that, though. Let's not forget he built the spine crawl. He lost the queen, so this was actually him really, really far behind. And DIMAGA will tie up the series 1-1.
Hey.
Now we are going to go to a small commercial break, guys, before we hop into Game 3. So don't go anywhere. We'll be back with the ace match when we return.
Hey everyone, we're jumping right into the ace match. Of course, not on a different map, same exact map you have been seeing and will continue to see as the other semifinals lays waiting, the 3rd place lays waiting, and of course the finals as well.
So I've been reading up on the community update thread, and I actually think, depending on how long the cast goes today, we should sit down and talk about it, because there are some very important aspects to this that need to be talked about, I feel.
Now I'm really curious. Well,
Well,
we'll
I'm going to
see.
tell DRU on 1 they want to increase the queen's range.
Oh my god! Oh, I have so much to comment on that. Real quick, in the bottom left, as the blue Zerg, he is DIMAGA.
Yeah, you know, we'll segment a bit off, I think, specifically for that. In the top right side, it's going to be the red Zerg player, Nerchio.
Well, they'd had a very passive first game, so I don't know. We see hatcheries going down, it looks like, for both parties. I think we can talk about it a little. I find that so hilarious. Not because I think it's like a terrible idea in this, date and time, because I haven't really thought about it, to be honest. But just hearing that, and you have to think back to what trouble that caused in Wings of Liberty. People will actually pinpoint the start of Broodlord Infestor and the rise of Zerg to the increased range on the Queen, because their early game defense then became too good. They could actually get to Hive with too much economy going for them. That led to, Broodlords being pretty accessible. So that just is like, I don't know. I can't even think of a good analogy right now, but that's just scary. The previous history. Isn't that why people teach history? So you don't repeat the same mistakes in the past, right?
Yeah, because that's worked out. Let me tell you about World War I, and then World War II.
Well, they didn't have much time to teach about World War I, see?
Then it's like the whole Greek thing. I mean, they weren't smart. Went over that yesterday.
No.
So how bad that turned out. I mean, look at Greece now, am I right?
Ayo, that was 4,000 years in the making. Okay, that is very curious. We do have a slower opener, so forgive us, but if it's gonna go to that same, first game, just not gonna be much to talk about until roaches actually engage each other.
Yeah, it's not necessarily a good or a bad thing. It's a little bit dull, of course, for us on this side of things. But I was just surprised to see DIMAGA handle the actual fight as badly as he did. And it wasn't like, oh my god, this is devastating. He's the worst player I've ever seen. I can't believe he move commanded. It's actually kind of the opposite. Like, he didn't move command, and that was part of the problem. And the fight, just A move versus A move, could have traded out evenly, but it wasn't. When you've got Roaches and Ravagers more specifically, you have to be a little bit more on the ball with things. But couple links for DIMAGA, a couple links for Nerchio, each on each side of the field.
Oh, wow. Wow, the micro's real.
Scumbag Zergling backed away.
Yeah, he can get him. I think that guy can get him.
He's looking for the backstab.
Regen! Oh no, he would have, if he would have, no, it's DIMAGA. If Ventura had attacked, he would have won. Oh, now there's 2 more though. Bye-bye.
There we go.
Okay.
So saw 3 bases, felt safe to take his own third base. Bailey next time he set up at the same time. We may not even see these come into play, though. This may be a lot of just in cases, but at the same time, there are some players who will use this as all-ins, and Nerchio cuts drones. Well, DIMAGA doesn't. DIMAGA makes a couple more drones, squeezes them out, and now he's starting to get some of these lings out. But this ling bailing war in the past was what really decided games. Nowadays isn't so much the case. And if you can comfortably transition behind this, you'll find yourself in a better spot. But this is going to be a lot of lings coming out of Nerchio initially. DIMAGA, he's got an adequate defense, but not a good defense.
Yeah, he sees everything, including Baneling's morphing. And you're absolutely right. Like, it doesn't really end games now, but it can give people some pretty substantial leads depending on the reaction. They can over-drone or over-defend and lose out either way. So it's got to be pretty perfect. DIMAGA's trying to get to
a revolver or something. They played like a 40-minute though.
Okay, well, it didn't end super quickly still. Bailings are sniped by queens, so pretty good defense so far. And DIMAGA has enough lings to push this back. They're both on the way to roaches. Nerchio did get a 6 drone lead from that, but it's actually a little bit scary right now. He has 22 lings on the way, so this probably won't snowball for DIMAGA, but now it's his turn to make drones behind his aggression. Ooh, wait a minute. Those lings aren't popping fast enough. Some drones going down.
Yeah, DIMAGA getting a couple kills, but it's still only a couple. Hasn't really racked up just yet. The queen in a nice spot between the Bailey nest and the hatchery, and this will be driven off with only 3 workers killed. DIMAGA gets an overlord kill, though, which is really nice on top of this, and he's moving into roaches. And god damn it, Zambrigub. Call me crazy, but I think DIMAGA's actually in a...
Oh, whoa. No one saw that. Sorry, DIMAGA.
Regardless of that Bailey hit being bad, like the fact that he's already on roaches, and quite a number of them, puts him in a very nice spot moving forward. Is Nerchio screwed? Not yet, but had those Bailings actually connected, DIMAGA wouldn't have had to fall back. He would have just kept pushing and hit at such a sick timing that he's now lost out on.
Yeah, the amount of roaches he was getting to follow up that would have been maybe too much for Nerchio to handle. But now Nerchio gets in, ducks in, kills a queen, and is looking for maybe a few more drone kills at the very least. Pulling DIMAGA back while he gets his own roaches up, maybe even a couple of drones once he feels safe enough.
Yeah, very important that he actually bought a little bit of time with this.
Lair's actually morphed right in front of his lings. Pretty sure they saw it. Yeah, they're close enough. But that, I mean, they both made so many roaches at this point. Probably not going to be a transfer over to Spire. It'd be very late.
So DIMAGA's got more workers going ahead right now. Nerchio's trying to catch up a little bit. Looking at the income graph, it is DIMAGA who's been winning the money game for quite some time. If he can just hold a decent defense, he should eventually be able to pull ahead. It's not a huge lead, but it is still a lead nonetheless.
DIMAGA's actually looking pretty good in this game. I mean, that first game really made Nerchio look like the overall better player because it was so passive, and he ended up just snowballing so quickly with one fight. But these last 2 games have really bought DIMAGA, I guess, confidence or something, because he feels like almost a different player.
So, well, this fight is on the cusp of starting up. I gotta give a shout out to Hojo, the Super Clown. Donated $51.01 to the prize pool for this. This is keep up the awesome work, everyone. And also is now the contender and #1 taker of that portrait code.
Very nice. That is a lot of drones. Damn. From Nerchio here. He's going to actually bump up to about 60? 65? That's a pretty perfect count to stop at. DIMAGA stops at 55 and makes nothing but roaches. So we'll have an army supply lead for a little bit. It doesn't look like he's going to really use it, though, as he is also dedicating to the later game. You know, he hasn't skipped the lair or skipped the +1. He's just behind on it. If you push now, I mean, if you push now. But despite more scuffles going down and more like, oh my god, are they going to snowball moments, it has roughly come down to the first game. Just Roach Ravager versus Roach Ravager, who can do better. Nerchio, with the increased drone count, will eventually catch up and, of course, you know, surpass DIMAGA in an army lead. And he also has the upgrade leads, too. So, it's actually a little worrying. DIMAGA, right now, looks good. Minute and a half? Maybe not so much.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting to see the way the course of the game's swinging like that.
Okay, good. I do recall DIMAGA not getting lucky with the overload kills, yet Nerchio was.
Bad case of the Solars.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, just clearing up overlords. Now, the majority of the map so far has been, you know, from all the matchups we've seen, about either the middle of the map or very, very close to the Xel'Nagas. Up here, not really fights. Down here, I guess there was a ZvZ we saw, but the Overlords going down are always an important part, either way. That's more minerals put in Overlords. That's a potential Ling run by through the middle of the map not seen from both players. It's good use of your Ravagers if nothing else is happening. And nothing else really is happening. We finally might have an engagement. DIMAGA is still up at 14 army supply, but not the upgrades. He does have the... Well, he had the high ground.
Upgrades are seconds for finishing, and we'll see if that becomes a factor or not. This is still going to be an awkward choke because it's only one layer of the rocks to go down. He's going to take down that other one still, but that roach count is not to be undervalued. He's trying to drag Nerchio through the choke. That was really clever, but Nerchio did not take the bait, so really smart reaction from him too. Now knocking down the rocks, there's no choke to worry about. He's going to come into the fight. Corsair Bio's launch. He's going to miss all of his. Unfortunately, Nerchio is going to also miss some of his, so backing away and tentative to go back and forth into this fight. When it comes down to army supply, though, 43 roaches to the 39 of DIMAGA, 9 Ravagers to 8 of Nerchio's. This army is so close in power.
This is definitely not going as easy for Nerchio as that first game. They both expand to 4th bases, but of course Nerchio, if he just survives, you know, not even like necessarily pushes this back, but survives, he'll have that upgrade lead. But he's doing better than surviving.
Nerchio just got a lot of corrosive bile hits. DIMAGA's missing a lot of his, and Nerchio's just charging through it. This may not have started going as well for Nerchio's last game, or first game, but it's certainly ending the same way.
Yeah, it is. Just very quickly, he went down 10 supply. That was the Roach buffer for his Ravagers, and then now down 30, almost 40 supply, with +2 on the horizon for Nerchio. Now, pushing up a ramp is still a little bit scary, but really his army count is looking good enough to do so. This will be definitely be the safer option, just to go for the rocks. Or the 4th base. That is also open. I think he has enough. It's 28 roaches to 25. But of course, a lot more Ravagers for Nerchio here. It looks like he's about to take the win. Oh, awkward Ravager from behind.
Yeah, I feel bad for DIMAGA because this game started off so slick for him and so smooth and well handled in many different regards, but unfortunately, just can't keep up with Nerchio's late game.
No. Nerchio still on that 60 drone supply as a couple transferring over to the 4th base, actually utilizing that. His +2, seconds away from finishing, literally 3 seconds. 3rd base goes down, and DIMAGA probably knows he's out of this game. He's got no tricks up his sleeve. He has no, 30 Banelings ready to go roll. He doesn't have Tunneling Claws about to kill a bunch of drones, and he can't deal with this army right now. GG. Okay, that's going to send us into the other semifinal, which will be a
TVT.
Or that's right, it's TVT, because Lily Canine got through,
This
and
is
so
great,
did
though,
Thermal.
this guarantees a TVZ 3rd, 4th place match and a TVC Grand Finals. It is, for me, going into this, so very clearly like a euthermal win. But at the same time, DIMAGA made Nerchio look pretty close, and I gave Nerchio such an easy advantage there, too. We might see a bit of an upset through Lily Canine. I don't know. But we're going to go to a commercial break while we get this next series set up, so guys, so don't go anywhere. We'll be back for another best of 3 TVT this time around in a few minutes.